Um, Good morning on this DrupalCon morning. Happy to see you. Today we're going to talk about thinking out of the box with webhooks and integration hubs like n8n or Zapier. Short agenda. We're going to do some live demos, and then we're going to explain the parts that we are using in our presentation. So let's get started with introducing DropSolid first. DropSolid is a company that's very active in the Drupal community. It's been growing 8 years now for non-stop, based in 3 continents, has created at the moment around 100 jobs, and we have large SMEs as customers in Belgium and Europe. What we do is we do not only Drupal content management, but we also do marketing automation with software Martik and customer data platform and personalization with Apache Unomi. These 3 together, we call them the DropSolid Digital Experience Platform, or even better, because we are also lovers of open source, the Open Digital Experience Platform. That's not the only thing DropSolid does. We also do consultancy, strategy, design, all kinds of other things. Who are you seeing here? Frederik Wouters, that's me. I'm also the enterprise architect at DropSolid, active in Team Strike. And next to me...
Hi, I'm Wesley de Vries. I am working here as a solution engineer, also in Team Strike.
And one of the mottos in Agile, Agile is very popular at the moment, well, the last years actually is the simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. It's one of the principles in Agile. And it also transcends like only on a software, like only in the teams where you create software. You can also do this on a company level. And on a company level, that means that if you don't have to create an integration, but you can do it with like an integration tool, yeah, it's less work and it's easier to change. So all this is called this is all kinds of buzzwords. So if you find some buzzwords that you don't understand, don't hesitate to ask them in the Q&A because there's going to be a lot of them. Okay, we got this question of a client, and the question goes like this. I have created a web form and I have some questions. Can you link the submission to our marketing automation platform? How much would this cost? And would it be possible to link it to my custom fields in the marketing tool? Is this something I can use on future web forms too? Let me know ASAP because we plan to go live tomorrow. Best regards, client. Okay, so in a normal case.
Yeah, in a normal case, you would like have to write a couple of lines of code to do this. But I think Frederik is going to demo us something that is much easier. And while he does that, I will give some live comments. So
okay, we start with the web form.
So yeah, we already prepared the web form for the client. So, or the client actually prepared the web form. So we're going to go to the settings. I'm sure anyone who already used web forms knows that this. Sorry, we're gonna just add a completed URL. So that's something where a web form just posts its results once it is done with your form submission. So here we are seeing the interface of n8n, which is our integration hub. We're copying the correct webhook here, saving it, and going back. So yeah, that all looks okay. So now we have our web hook. We are going to alter it a bit.
Maybe we can test it once to see if it works.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Filling in some data in the form.
I need to first, and then here. As it goes with live demos. Okay. Did I do something wrong? Like the form? Where's the build button?
Okay, we're gonna have to check what went wrong. So maybe we copied the wrong URL. Save. Um,
63. Okay. Save handlers.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is difficult.
Okay.
Not entirely sure what is going wrong. It used to work.
Okay, I'm going to try one more time. Kunnen het Nederlands verder gaan? Nee. We only have DropSolid people looking. That's good. Save. Okay. That's good. Right?
Yeah.
Test. Why is it unable to process this mission? Can you check in the watchdog or something where it's mistaken?
Sure.
Do I have to activate this maybe?
Oh, then you just save your energy.
.404 not found response. There's something wrong here. Authentication none, get, what?
Maybe just close that and
We'll try it again. So, this one.
maybe just continue with the rest of the session.
Okay, so that's great. How would this normally look? Okay, let's say we could link this, then we could alter the data that comes in here and say, okay, item dot body dot what was the text is item dot body text, and we append it with hashtag DrupalCon, which is really cool. Drupal. Nice. Okay. This will alter the content of the webhook and then allow us to do other things with it. And the integration that they wanted was to have it in the marketing automation platform, so we can link it with, let's say, Martik, and then have our account. Let's create an account from here, and then we can select the fields that we want to insert from this data. So save this one. With this, you see that the integration that you would normally do with a form submit handler that you create in code, you can do it on the fly and alter the content here in n8n, and then you would be able to, for example, do other things with it. If you say, I want to have a Slack message when something comes in, or I would have another kind of integration, you can just link it the moment that the webhook comes in. You could do whatever integration with it. Okay, let me remove this one. And then the customer asks us, okay, we have this cool lamp at the office. Can you make it blink whenever the form is submitted? And what would this cost? Okay, not a problem. And you might have seen that in the background, there is already a lamp blinking. Okay, and this is a request to a Shelly. A Shelly is a small device that listens to post requests to put electricity on and off. And here, for example, the moment when the webhook comes in, we can make the light go on, then wait for 5 seconds, and then make the light go off. And you see, it also listens to cron. So every minute, I think it's working every minute at the moment, the light behind me is going on. And then after some seconds, it's going off again. So this allows us to do really cool integrations also with like the real world, integrated with the real world. How much would this cost? Well, we just did it, so like in a few minutes. An alternative flow, put the sign to maintenance mode when the temperature rises. So this is also a flow that I created. And let me increase the size of the screen here. Here we're consuming the Open Weather Map API. Let me show this. Execute node. So what it does is, I created the tokens in advance. We fetch the weather data. It's fetching the weather data. Let me see this as JSON. And the temperature at the moment is 12 degrees. So we're going to execute the function item. See, okay. If the temperature is smaller or equals than 20 degrees, the site shouldn't be disabled. We can stay indoors and we can do the computing. If the temperature is hotter than 20 degrees, we're going to disable the site. You have to go outside and surf. So this happened. Here we evaluate the temperature. So if the temperature falls, if the disabled site is false, then we can do whatever we want to do. Send a Slack message, send an email. You can, whatever you can think of. If you want an email to be sent, go surfing. Then you can integrate it really easily with all your other systems. So it's really cool if you can integrate your marketing automation tool, automatically post to LinkedIn, to Twitter, or whatever, and on the fly change those links. So this is the example that I just showed. The parts, I'm going to go a little more into detail in the parts. And maybe on a higher level, it's important to note that companies are more and more going to a composable architecture, where in the past they used to have like one big stack doing everything, and now it's more and more, I'm hesitating to say microservices, but more a composable architecture, meaning they have different parts doing different jobs, but they're well integrated. And the integration hub that we're talking about integrates these tools very nicely together. It's sometimes called Enterprise Integration Hub, or Cloud Integration Hub, or Digital Integration Platform, whatever combination you can think of. The point is, connect with clicks, not with code. Similarly, it's very similar to how you in Drupal create content types and things by not writing code. Okay, so player one is Drupal, and we already demonstrated the Webform handler, where you can do post from Webforms, but there's also the webhooks module that allows you to, if you just install this module, you have a ton of webhooks that are available. You can just say on entity create, on taxonomy term delete, on whatever event that you have in Drupal, you can do external calls to your implementation system. But of course, as with everything in Drupal, you want to extend it. So there's a hook for that. It's called the event info alter, where you can create your custom events that will then also be displayed in the list of webhooks, and then they will you can trigger external system with the webhook. This is the definition of a webhook, like so. I also added a controller to just display things in Drupal. Our second player in the flow is Martik. Martik is a marketing automation platform. There's a lot talks about this already, so I'm not going to go too much into detail there. Martik also has webhooks out of the box, so Martik also very nicely integrates with external systems or with integration platforms like Zapier or n8n. Player 3 is n8n. Why are we choosing n8n and not Zapier to do this demonstration? Because DropSolid is an open company. We work with open source tooling. So this is something that we can run on our systems or on-premise systems with clients. So they can do their own integration on-prem, or we can host it for them, or there's also a cloud solution by n8n.io, so they can run it there as well. With Zapier, you don't have the choice. There's also other integration hubs that you can look at. Zapier, MuleSoft, Integrated, Dalbumi. There's a ton of them. Check them out if you like. I think Zapier has a very rich ecosystem of plugins that you can use, but n8n is the open source tool, which is really cool because. And you'll see later on why it's really cool. You also see that Jan is working, Jan Oberhauser, I think, is working on this, and he's pretty active. So you can also pull the repository and start developing for yourself. And this I already showed the canvas that we use. Every developer always likes to create infinite loops. So with n8n, you can also create infinite loops. So with when a Drupal event comes in n8n, you could do them some alterations like increment or whatever, and then trigger Drupal again. And this way you could create an infinite loop in Drupal and n8n. I already demonstrated the surf example. And the possibility is, because it's open source, to extend the system with your custom nodes. And one of the things is that OData is it's like they say it's the best way to do REST. Well, yeah, it's an opinion, but it's a standard, so that's good, and it's used by some of the bigger systems. So, for example, SAP or Salesforce or Oracle are using OData to. Also, Microsoft Dynamics is using it to open up their data to external systems, which allows us, this is some example of the standard, which allows us to put this data in our enterprise, in our external systems pretty easily. So if I create this OData node, which I created, you can then just automatically push this data to Drupal or to Martik or whatever. Okay, some other cool workflows, and I think maybe we can show the demo now again because Wesley fixed it here. Can I?
Sure. Do go ahead.
Okay, demo time. So I take this. Yeah, I have a small hang here. I refresh which workflow do I open?
The other one. The other one. The
DrupalCon.
Yeah, we actually just forgot the webhook was still set on get. And
it's supposed
does a post.
Of course. So I execute this node. This is like the debugging way to debug n8n, and then I'm going to the form, right? View.
Yeah.
And I do some text here. This is actually really cool. And my contact details. Wouters, okay. Hopla. Let's see. The data comes in, which is really cool. Okay, body text, name, first name, last name. Then, let's see. Okay. it altered. So you see that the alteration has been done with the function. And then we can, for example, configure Martik to create an account when this data comes in. Let me select the correct fields from the input data, body, email. Okay. First name, add expression, body, first name.
So what we're seeing here is n8n shows a direct preview of the data. So that's the reason why it already shows Friedrich's last name or first name already here, but actually it will update as soon.
Okay.
So if I submission comes in.
So if I run this now, it will have created this user and mark here. So website was created.
Yeah.
And now we want to also post on Twitter or LinkedIn?
Yeah, Twitter works fine, yeah. Friedrich will add an extra, so we don't want to add it over there, but do it like simultaneously to post both Martik and Twitter. So maybe, yeah, we can add our texts that we already altered. So yeah, with the hashtags in there.
Okay, so I can now do a new submission.
You'll have to save it first.
Okay.
The save button is behind the webcam of Friedrich, but I'm sure if you run it, you'll find the save button. So
okay. Okay. Okay, so I can use my contact details.
Maybe you need to remove the hashtag Drupal because
we will be adding it automatically. That's cool.
You don't have to.
Okay, so this flips and it has been sent. Can you put me this link so I can share it? Or
yeah, it's a Twitter and the handle is DropSolid _n8n. Yeah, there it is.
So
19
cool.
seconds ago.
Okay, so this way you can propagate from whatever system to whatever system and have it in a really drag and drop, very simple style interface. So if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and ask them in the Q&A. Then Wesley will be, or me, will be able to handle those.
Yeah, no questions now.
So far. Okay, this allows us to do Gmail to Drupal, Drupal to Gmail, Gmail to BigQuery, Drupal to Reddit, Reddit to Drupal to Slack, to whatever you can think of. There's a ton of plugins in the n8n already. And of course, with the HTTP request and the webhook already available, both in Drupal and in n8n, you can link all of those systems together. So it gives you a very powerful tool to link Drupal into all kinds of other systems. So the sky is really the limit. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you maximal input with maximal output with minimal inputs. So no questions. Bert, no. Come on, anybody.
Peter responded with thanks, and he didn't know that about this open source.
No questions? Okay. Then I wish you a fun DrupalCon later in the day. Don't miss the Layout Builder session tomorrow. We're going to give a really cool demonstration of the Layout Builder tomorrow at, if I'm not mistaken, 10 o'clock. Yep. So don't miss that one, and see you around.